I'm always delighted to be with Saul News. This has been such a leader in the conservative movement and the Republican Party.
This is the Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for March 17th, 2023. An article from The Hill reports, Romney grills Biden official about Social Security intense exchange. Senator Mitt Romney grilled Shalonda Young, director of the White House Office of Management and Budget, about Social Security during a hearing Wednesday focused on President Biden's fiscal 2024 budget proposal. In a tense line of questioning, Romney pressed Young about whether she knew of any cuts to the program proposed by lawmakers. Biden has repeatedly accused Republicans of trying to cut benefits.
On a separate topic, I'm not aware of anyone in this category, but are you aware of anyone of the elected officials we have in the federal government, at the Congress, or anywhere else that have proposed cutting or have currently proposed cutting benefits for Social Security of any kind?
Senator, I have heard of proposals.
No. You've heard of proposals from a current senator, currently or congressman, currently proposing to cut benefits to Social Security?
Yes. Have they changed their position? Maybe.
No.
Yes. Members who are current members.
I said, has anyone in the last several months or the last year, has anyone, Republican or Democrat, proposed Social Security benefits?
So now you're asking if people change their position? Maybe. But there are records.
Are you aware of anyone?
There is a record.
Are you aware of anyone? Excuse me. Are you aware of anyone? Are you aware of anyone proposing cutting Social Security benefits?
Your first question, current members have well-known policies out there to cut Social Security and Medicare.
That's simply wrong. That is simply wrong. And it's not honest to say that to members of Congress. That is simply wrong. There is no one who's recommending cutting Social Security benefits.
The heated exchange comes as the fate of Social Security has come to the forefront on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers are feuding about budget cuts as part of a deal to raise the debt limit, which must be done in the next several months. An article from The Federalist states, as Biden plays political games on Medicare, here's how Republicans can respond. If anyone doubted President Joe Biden's commitment to running for re-election next year, they need only examine his administration's, quote, plan for extending Medicare's solvency. Rather than taking a serious approach to solving Medicare's funding difficulties, the plan instead engages in political gamesmanship over the health care of millions of seniors. But an administration that wants to play games over Medicare should be careful what it wishes for, because Republicans have ammunition to respond in kind. Part of the plan would raise additional revenue via a tax Biden himself went out of his way to avoid. If the Biden administration wants to engage Republicans in political games over Medicare, the president's tax returns provide the GOP with ample opportunity to hit back. Multiple tax experts believe that Biden not only used the loophole his administration now wants to close, but abused it in ways that violate IRS guidelines. Given the ways in which Democrats spent years pursuing President Donald Trump's tax returns, and then release those returns to the public, Republicans have every reason to question the IRS's handling of Biden's questionable tax behavior. Democrats use their partisan spending spree to empower the IRS to crack down on, quote, wealthy tax cheats. Lawmakers should ask whether and why the IRS avoided targeting the current occupant of the Oval Office. And finally, the Daily Wire reports, Ted Cruz hammers Biden for bailing out corrupt Silicon Valley Bank. This is like Bonnie and Clyde. Senator Ted Cruz slammed the Biden administration's bailout of Silicon Valley Bank this week, warning that it will incentivize future bad behavior from banks. Senator Cruz made the comments Wednesday on his podcast Verdict with co-host Ben Ferguson while discussing the ripple effect that the collapse of the bank has had on the United States.
What Biden basically said is, hey, this is a woke liberal bank, and we cover it all, even though the people that were putting the money in the bank knew that they were overly leveraged here, that they didn't have as sound of a lending practice as many other banks. They didn't care. So are we now at the point where we have a government that says, okay, you can act recklessly in the financial industry, specifically in banking, as long as you are in the right side of giving to Democrats or to parties, we'll cover you no matter how reckless you are, no matter how big you are. And as long as you're on our team and donating to things that we believe in, we'll get your back up to 100% of all of your deposits.
Look, there are an awful lot of folks that are going to take exactly that message from this. This was an act of cronyism. It was also critically, you're right, that Silicon Valley Bank was one of the most woke banks in America. It was very into ESG. It was very into climate change. It was very into Black Lives Matter. It was very into everything except apparently having a risk management process to protect its depositors' deposits.
Cruz expanded on his remarks, noting that there were a lot of people who were going to look at what the Biden administration did by bailing out a bank that backed woke initiatives and believe that they can get away with the same reckless behavior as long as they align with the political left. And that was your Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for March 17th, 2023. For more political news faster, visit saulsnews.com.